Hey, crafty babes, it's Andrea, and we're here to chat about all the ways we live our craftiest lives.
And I'm Melissa, and we're here to inspire you to craft in a way that works for you.
Thank you guys so much for seriously so much love and support when we announced the podcast this week. That was overwhelming. There were so many people congratulating and thanking and being so excited and the anticipation. I was overwhelmed. I was a little
It was I guess flustering.
There was just so many people that were so excited. And I honestly did not expect that kind of excitement. I mean, I knew people were like, I can't wait to hear your news. But usually when you have news, you just never really know. Yeah, you never really know how it's going to go over when you actually hear the news. So our friends, I mean, they're not just fans, they're not followers, they're crafty friends, and we all love this particular passion of ours. And we are just super, super, super thankful that you guys are down for this ride with us. We've had more downloads than I ever imagined. So you guys must have liked what you saw so far. Really hope so. So again, we are very grateful and very thankful that we have such a supportive community that will accept us into their eyes and ears on a regular basis. And we hope to continue and we hope to continue to entertain you a little bit here and there. So
yeah, it's just so incredible to me that without even releasing anything, we didn't put anything out that wasn't just, we're going to do a podcast. Yeah. Everyone was just like, congratulations.
I know.
This is going to be awesome. You guys are so much fun. And I'm like, people know me? Like, I mean, they know you a lot because you've just been around in craftiness on social media longer and more. But it's just so incredible to me that, 99% of these people, neither of us have ever met.
I know.
And so, but they're all just excited because we're all fans of crafting, scrapbooking, whatever. Yeah. And they're just, you're doing something along those veins. Awesome. Good for you. This is going to be so much fun.
Super supportive.
I just could never have imagined that anyone would just be that excited and give us that much of a welcome, I guess, into the whatever you even call this.
It's a good, we're super thankful. So
yes, absolutely.
So with that, we have some topics we want to chat about for today's episode. We want to talk about our favorite crafts, the things that we really, really, really love doing while we're in our free, scrappy time. And then also we want to talk about our 2018 crafty plans. Yeah, everybody loves getting into that topic right now because we're all figuring it out and making plans.
It's all about plans and goals, and
it is
resolutions. And I have a huge old list, but it's just when I sit down and think about crafting, and which is so therapeutic most of the time.
Telling you.
I just think about all these amazing things I just want to try. So I'd say more than anything, my list is a couple things I want to change with what I'm doing, and then a good sized list of things I really just want to dabble in to see if I enjoy them or not.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, why don't you start with your plans then? We can go out of order.
We can go out of order?
I know. It's not on the list that way.
Okay, I know how OCD you are, so are you gonna be okay with this?
Totally fine. Totally fine.
Okay. My 2018 plans. My big goal on, I guess, what I would want to change, or a couple things that I want to complete is whatever that word is. That I really need to get caught up on Project Life.
That's a big one.
Scrapbooking shouldn't be a need, but in a way, it's just as important to me as getting caught up on the house cleaning or getting caught up on, I hear bills are more important, but who knows?
Hey, whatevs.
But it's all those documenting all those memories and all those things that went on. So my plan is I'm like 6 months behind. Ugh.
Girlfriend, I am too.
So I am just gonna, use the prepping system, which I don't remember. Did we both like kind of decide to do that separately around the same time?
Yeah, we did. And then we both kind of came to each other with this idea.
And we're like, okay, I'm going to do this weird thing.
Yeah. And we both were like, yeah, we're kind of thinking about this on the same level. The batch processing, we're basically prepping our Project Life pages with the photos and the cards, and then doing that all in kind of one big session, week after week after week after week, and then coming back into it later and embellishing and journaling.
Yeah. And you have a really good YouTube video talking about kind of how you do this. And one of the things you said was, if you do all your photos and cards together, you're really familiar with all your cards.
Yeah, I totally noticed that as I was getting along into it. It is really helpful.
Because I have a couple super specific cards, and I have started putting them in a separate section. I just called it special, I think.
Okay.
Which is such an unoriginal name. But things that say coffee break, things that say favorite music, things that say TV shows watching. Because if I forget I have those things and I'm just looking through by color, which is typically where I start, I sometimes miss those other things because they're in a different color. Whereas if I just go to my special section, which sounds
true. Everybody has one.
Yes, we do. Some of us do. Never mind. Okay. Edit that, right? It's a much smaller section to look through.
Yeah.
So I can just quickly go, okay, what if I just change this photo black and white? Then it could work with orange. Or, like usually we have a little bit of wiggle room as far as color goes with how we do our Project Life.
Yeah.
And so that's it. So then if I just quickly can, be super familiar with those cards, or go, I have one that's just the right size or shape, or, has the right, has the right theme. In the right section on the,
So here's something I was thinking about with regards to for not forgetting to use the cards that you have. I don't know how, other than totally wiping my stash completely clean, and just being super minimalist about the things I have. I really don't know of another way to organize. Like, I have this card, right? This card says coffee, and I know that I want to use it for this photo that I've taken. But how do I remember that in 4 months?
Yeah.
Do I take that card and put it with the photo when I organize the photo in the week? I don't, I don't know. I bet there's people that do it that way. And it just, because I'm starting to forget to use things that I have wanted to use for a specific thing. And that makes me sad because I wanted to use it.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know if it would be helpful if putting a little something up somewhere in your scrappy area, on an available wall or on an available section of your desk that kind of has a list of special cards. I mean, I assume that the special cards list isn't super long. So if you had something, because I have kind of two special sections, a seasons one that is really weather or season specific.
I have a season section,
and then kind of my special section.
Okay.
The other thing that I feel like kind of helps, and I guess this is just how good your memory is for the most part, keeping things sorted by manufacturer. So I can kind of remember, I mean, I still have colors, but when you have certain manufacturers, like I know in a Creative Bubble will always have or at least I know that I have one of their TV watching, show watching ones. I have a coffee set. I have a music set.
I keep those together too.
So that kind of helps because I know you know, I know where to go for those specific cards, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I know for Ellie, like with Ellie's studio, that they have like the eating one, you know, the food one. And they have kind of a Valentine one, and they have the sick day one.
It is easy with the manufacturers, especially because they have certain ones have such a distinct style that you just know it's their card when you see it. So that it is easy to kind of break those into either keeping them themselves because you kind of know what they're going to offer you, or, you know, even breaking them into the different categories and stuff. So, okay. So keeping up or catching up, which is something that we all want to do. So catching up and getting Project Life completed for 2017 is probably your biggest goal, I'm guessing.
That is my biggest, like, it has to get done. I mean, it just has to.
I know.
So
I know.
It's just got to get done. But then in the future, for helping to not get us behind. Now, a big impetus for me in getting behind was moving.
True.
And so that was just it disrupted my whole flow.
Yep.
But then another thing that I'd kind of like to help going forward in, I guess, not getting so behind is taking less photos. And I don't necessarily mean taking less, because I'm okay with keeping 5,000 photos of the month on my computer, because I'll sit with the kids and we'll go back every once in a while and just like flip through and flip through and flip through. And they're not photo worthy. They're not all even in focus. Sometimes it's a goofy video that's half in the dark, but what we're saying is funny. Yeah. And so I can keep all those that way, but just getting really, really specific about...
Really selective.
Printing the photos that I want to tell something that's longer than just, we went to the park. Yep. You know, because if I'm just going to say exactly what's happening in the photo, maybe I don't need to bring it out and tell the story about it. I can just scroll through digitally and see, oh, look, we went to the park.
Right. Yeah. I'm totally with you, because with the changes and the plans I have for my own craftiness and memory keeping for this coming year, that's my main thing, is just being more selective. We went to the park and I probably took 30 photos. I picked 2 that I printed.
Dang, it's so hard.
2, because one of them tells one story that meant something to me, and another one told another story, and that's it. And there is no need. I would have probably taken an entire 12 by 12, you know, pocket spread. Just going to the park. I would have done that. That's why I feel like that's why I'm so behind. That's another reason why I've got 2 albums a year. Now, I've always been like, I'm not going to limit myself, but I feel like I'm with it. Yeah, I feel like I'm at that point too. And plus, I'm also at the point where I've got older kids, and they don't let me take their photos very often anymore. And they don't do the cute, super, you know, adorable thing that I have to go, stand and let me take a picture of you. You know, they're not into that. So I kind of have a bit less to comb through, but that's, you know, that's definitely going to help with weeding out and keeping some of that at bay.
Yeah. Because
for sure.
Where I am right now, even when I go back and just do the batch prepping with photos and cards, there are some weeks it takes me a really long time because I have so many photos. I have to figure out, okay, I have more than a 12 by 12 spread. So do I add a little half page in between? Do I take up 2 full spreads? Instead of just going cards, photos, done, I have to do so much more work. In the moment.
I know.
So... And part of that, I think, too, and this wasn't necessarily on my list, but it's just getting back to, at the end of the month, making sure everything's edited, make sure everything's offloaded, formatted, and done, so that I didn't have to do like I spent the last week or so doing, which is editing, uploading, and formatting thousands of photos.
I know.
I think I printed 50 8.5 by 11 sheets of photos.
50? Yep. Oh my. Girl.
Yep. And that was not including December daily. That was not including...
Wow.
There were like several things that it didn't include. So, it didn't include our trip because I had already done that separately.
Yeah. True.
your trip to come see me. So
Dang.
50.
Whew.
Yep.
Okay. What are your other crafty plans?
Okay, so my other crafty plans that aren't scrapbooking are I need to sew another Bible journal cover.
Yeah.
Or like a journaling Bible cover, because I did that with my first journaling Bible because it was just
Fun.
black.
Yeah.
And so I sewed this super cute floral and leather thing with all these bookmarks, and it just made my Bible really adorable.
Aww.
And then the next one I had was a teal one, and so I didn't ever feel the need to color it or to cover it because it was adorable.
Yeah.
And then the one I just got, because I usually kind of just get a different version or a different style every year.
Okay.
I figure, why not? And so the one I got this year is brown and black on the outside. Oh my gosh.
Those are so your colors.
Oh.
Painted orange.
Oh. So yeah, that is my goal, but I really haven't touched my sewing machine much since we moved.
Okay. Well,
So,
good. Bust that baby out.
I want to do that, and then I also kind of my two other big sewing goals are to make our Christmas PJ pants this year.
Ooh, fun.
Because my mom did that when we were kids, and it's just one of those things. It's just fun.
It's fun.
So, and everybody's still little enough, and Chad is kind enough to wear whatever I crank out.
Exactly.
So that, and then I'd really like to take a sewing class because I have good basic sewing skills. I would just kind of like to learn. It's just like taking a Photoshop class. Like I'd like to learn the right way.
Yep.
To do everything and maybe
to do a binding, to sew a buttonhole, all the things.
Because I do a lot of things. I'm not entirely sure that they're by the book.
Right, exactly. They're just
I
they
just like
kind
to
of wing
learn
it.
a little bit more technical stuff so that when my bobbin jams, I'm not just like turning every single knob on my sewing machine trying to figure out what's wrong.
Oh my goodness, that's pretty funny.
So yeah, those are my sewing plans, and then I would. Oh, what was my other? Oh, I do also. I have kind of a lot of things I want to finish. I would say there's a couple new things I want to try. Like I said, like taking a sewing class.
Yeah.
I'd like to start documenting more than just selfies in my personal album.
Yes.
So I'd like to do, I know you're super good at this, but the snacks that you're interested in, or, I usually do myself in outfits.
Yep.
But I don't always remember to do like my view when I wake up in the morning, or what color my coffee is.
What you see. Yeah.
Yes.
Not what other people
I am
see when they look at you, but what you see from your own view. Yep.
Yeah.
That's great.
So that's kind of something like new I want to try. And then also kind of finishing a couple things. I had the other thing I was going to mention and got sidetracked to was finishing Ellie's quiet book.
Oh, that's
that I
right.
started last year because my grandma started it for me when I was a baby.
Right.
And then never finished it. And so I set out to finish it for her and got almost every single page done. And now I think all I need to do is put it together.
Right. Yeah. You were super close to the end.
Mm-hmm. And so I'd really like to finish that because even though she's 2.5 now, I think she would still find it entertaining because there's a tie your shoelace one.
Yep,
and there's
like
a snap the shapes on one. So
yeah,
I think those are kind of my big ones.
Cool.
I feel like that was kind of a lot, but
you have lots of crafty goals.
I have so many things I want to try. Just there's a meme I found that said, or it might have been posted by a scrapbooking manufacturer. I don't remember. But one that said, adulting is getting in the way of my crafting time.
Yeah, every day.
And I was like, yes.
Cool.
So
well,
what about you?
Yeah. I may have teased you a little.
You said you're doing something that's gonna...
You might kill me.
Oh, yes, that's what it was.
And you kind of did guess it. I'm just going to say it. I'm ditching 12 by 12 pockets. And there's a collective gasp.
But please tell everyone you're not ditching pockets altogether.
No.
Okay.
Personal album in both pockets and Traveler's Notebooks are still going to exist. My family album is going to be a mix of pockets, junk journal, commonplace book, and just kind of like all of those things together.
What?
I know.
I don't even understand.
Okay, so for the 2 weeks that, and this was kind of my test. I needed to print my photos for the first couple of weeks so that I could say, okay, you know what? Still, Drea, you're taking too many pictures. You have to fit them all. You have to do the pocket so that you can get all these photos in here, right? Well, I had 2 pages, 2 8.5 by 11 pages of photos for my family photos for the 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Not very many. And because I was being selective on purpose, I think what I'm going to do, here's going to be like the layout of what my album's going to look like. The base is going to be A5. There's going to be an emphasis on A5 grid paper and lined paper. I'm super inspired by Elise from Feed Your Craft. And
so is it kind of going to have a planner cover? Like,
it's going to be in a 6x8 album so that I can house 6x8 pocket pages. But it's going to be like what December Daily kind of is, where it's super interactive. Things fold out. Things are not always in pockets. I'm feeling just like this need to kind of get out of pockets a little bit. December Daily really just kind of inspired me. And then also I've been watching a lot of Scattered Confetti videos, and her projects are very interactive, and she makes pockets and stuff like that. So I want to just do things that are a little bit more interactive in my albums and spend less time trying to make all of these photos work together on one layout. I might go back. I'm going to try this for 1 month and I'm going to see how it goes. But I want to be a little bit more free and a little bit more, a little less OCD.
I like it.
I know. So, you know, and most of that is because I am behind. I'm in September of my Project Life album, and I'm feeling overwhelmed with it. I'm feeling like I'm not feeling like it's impossible to do, but I'm just feeling like I don't want to be in this position every few months. So
no, it's too stressful, and it takes the joy out when you're just focusing on catching up.
Yep, it does. With that, we're going to take just a quick break, and we're going to ask a little fun question, and then we're going to get back into some crafty chat.
Music for the Hey Crafty Babes podcast can be found at soundstripe.com.
So we have a little question for you. We want to know, what is your favorite snack to have by your side while you're crafting? And we want you to answer in the comments below, and we're going to tell you what we like to snack on. So I will start, and then I'll ask Alyssa what she likes to snack on. I personally would love it if every single time I scrapbooked, I had a bowl of extra toasty Cheez-Its and some squares of dark chocolate with sea salt. That is my go-to. Anything that I can just nosh on, and always ice water. Always, always. So, what about you, girl?
Well, I don't really have a lot of just things that I snack on. Mostly just because I'll snack until I explode. But I always have a cup of coffee when I sit down to craft. Almost always. And if I don't have coffee, I have ice water. And then I have a couple squares of that peppermint bark that you left me when you came to visit. So that's kind of my current go-to. Because like sometimes when you munch on things when you drink coffee, they taste funny.
Oh, that's true. So, yeah, coffee's kind of like on its own.
Coffee's my jam.
All right, now we are going to get going with our favorite crafts, because I think that, I personally don't have any more crafty plans. My plan is just to change it all up, and I think that's going to be plenty for me. Favorite crafty crafts. Crafty crafts. So what I was gonna start by saying that there's been so many different times in my life that I've needed certain crafts. Like when we were kind of first starting out as a family and didn't have, I didn't have money to go to Pier 1 or Target and buy this gorgeous teal nightstand. I had an old nightstand or something, and I got some spray paint, and I home decor DIY'd everything.
Yep.
And I made things kind of out of nothing. And my blog actually started, the purpose of my blog was make do. It was basically make do with what you have, and I was doing these trash to treasure kinds of things. Yep. And I bought this cute yellow purse, almost like a clutch, but with a handle, a shoulder strap. And I upcycled it, because upcycling was a huge thing back when I started my blog. And I added this fabric flower to it. I just stitched it right on top, and it was this black and white polka dot flower. And so at that time, those were the things that I really needed. I needed things to help me, dress cute and feel good and make something with my hands. And I needed that. And then there's been times when I've been super heavy into embroidery or hand lettering. There's times that I'll just sit on the couch and sketch out my own fonts and just have fun with that and make fun things out of that. But memory keeping has always been the staple along. It's always like it's my ride or die, Yeah. Memory keeping in some fashion has always been that thing that even when I'm dabbling in other things, like my mom and I used to quilt a lot together, and we would make tote bags and just anything that we could do together, we would just find some crafty project to do. And so that's really where the craftiness kind of just stays in my life forever. Yeah. is just always kind of dabbling in the things. I mean, I've tried watercoloring and it's more relaxing than it is really super satisfying for me. But that's okay, and it helps me appreciate the amazing artwork that other people do. I'm actually staring right now at this beautiful watercolor sketch that Asia Haywood sent to me. It boggles my mind that these non-shapes can just make these beautiful images. Yeah. And so I think that having all of the different kinds of crafts in your life helps you love and appreciate everybody else's art, even if it's not the art that you're into at the moment, Yep.
And I was totally thinking the same thing the other night, that kind of all the things I've dabbled in have been practical in the sense that
that's a great word for it.
Paint, or I wanted a picture frame, but I didn't want to go spend $20 on a gold picture frame at Target, so I spray painted them. Or I wanted to make a gallery wall, and I didn't want to go spend $1 billion on new frames, so I just bought a bunch of frames from Goodwill and spray painted them all black. Or I started getting into hand lettering because I wanted to make a sign that looked like something, but didn't want to pay the money for it. And so that's totally how I've mostly started all the crafting that I've done, except for scrapbooking. I don't know. Scrapbooking has just kind of always been...
Yeah, and it's kind of its own thing. There are ways, and I actually want to have this be a topic that we talk about is scrapbooking on a budget, and because it can be very practical, and you do not need the latest and greatest and everything in order to do the craft. You just don't have to. And so, like you're saying, practicality is the key.
Yeah.
I like it.
And being thrifty. And it's always been, even in times we've had...
Oh, I lost her. Dang it. Hi. Oh. Hey, sorry about that.
That's okay.
My earbud was dying.
Oh no.
So I switched it, and then it ended the call. So that was my bad.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay. Continue.
So yeah,
if you can.
Even in times that we've had, plenty of money, I would say, I just am somewhat thrifty or frugal. And so
you're
even if
you're super thrifty.
$84 on a curtain panel, I'm like,
yeah,
no, I'm just going to make that myself. And then
exactly.
It just, and so that's, I'd say, where, I don't know if that's a good question. Maybe we could ask at some point, or maybe I'm asking it right now, is your craftiness born out of thriftiness and trying to save a little bit of money because you enjoy making it over buying it, or just because you like doing it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that people are going to fall somewhere in the middle of all of those things, and a combination of that. Because, I mean, the people who would spend the time to make it versus buy it, you have to love it.
Yeah.
If you're going to spend the time, I know someone who would always just say, why would you spend the time doing that? You can just buy it. And I'm like, but the 99% of the fun of it is figuring out how to come up with that.
Yep.
And sometimes it's, like you said, practicality, but it's out of necessity too. When I was really getting into embroidering and doing that a lot, Marshall was super young, and he was probably 2 years old or just a toddler, and he was very curious, and I didn't want to leave my pin, my needles out. And so I wanted just a pouch to kind of keep everything in. And I couldn't find anything that I was looking for. So I made my own folding pouch that holds the scissors. I have a little kind of like a flat pin cushion where all of the needles could go, and then a little pocket for the threads I was working on. It has a little button closure, and then I could just keep that with me. And he wasn't really curious about that.
Sure.
So I could keep, but it was born out of necessity.
Yeah.
And I think that those of us who are, crafty in nature will always go to, our natural reaction is to say, how can I make this?
Yes.
As a first thought.
Yeah. And I would say the only thing, because I used to do photo books and
oh yeah.
And so I would just make them because I wanted, do them with Shutterfly, and I wanted to just have something we could look at with all of our photos from the year from.
Yeah.
But then when I started doing Bible journaling, I realized, I actually missed the making. But there's not been a whole ton of other things. Like, sewing does kind of gets a little bit relaxing and therapeutic and stuff like that. And I would say the same, I think, about embroidery or hand stitching. But I would say I like furniture refinishing or calligraphy or handwriting or anything don't really possess that same. I do them to get to an end goal. And I'd say most of my sewing projects are that way. There's still a certain time, mostly just because I stress about them, because I think I haven't quite gotten that natural flow about sewing. Maybe because I don't do it often enough. I don't know.
It's true. I mean, you kind of have to be in it a lot to,
and I would say that's probably why
to be super comfortable.
Yeah, that's probably why scrapbooking is the most, like, that process. I do actually really enjoy the process of.
I know. So do I. Love it. I love it so much. So, okay. So other than Bible journaling, paper crafting, memory keeping, is there anything else? I know that you said you wanted to get into sewing. So you've got some crafty projects ahead of you.
Yeah. And if I had time, I'd like to have an embroidery project kind of sitting in my bag so that if I'm watching a show and want to do something with my hands or whatever, I can. But I also do have a photography business on the side. And so typically if we're watching a show or something, I'm editing photos of some sort. So I don't know.
You definitely always got that going on.
Yeah. So I don't know that I'm not saying embroidery will never happen for me, because I still would really like to do it. And that's also kind of one thing I'd like to do with Jonah, because he's really expressed an interest in sewing and wanting to learn how to sew. But I want to start him with hand stitching or hand sewing first, just because I'm still, he's 6. I'm not quite ready to let him use the sewing machine.
Right. You guys can stitch a pillow or something, you know?
So yeah, I'm like,
make it easy.
I got a super cute little kid sewing kit where you make these little felt stuffed animals. So if I can ever, he always asks me, I love the kid. He just always asks me at times when, you know, I'm getting Ellie ready for a nap, or a day when I have a headache, or a day when it's past his bedtime. And I'm oh my gosh.
Now you want to ask me?
I know. So I need to kind of start just, it's easy. Well, we homeschool. And so it's easy for me to say, okay, we have to do math, science, reading, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it's easy for me to say, oh, we'll get to art if we can. We'll get to music if we can.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you got to make that a priority.
Dang, I know. It's just so hard when some days it's this or that in the core subjects.
I know.
Win out.
They win. They do.
But I think just for everybody's sanity, it's just really helpful to get, especially if I would like someday for us all to be able to maybe sit down and craft together. Even if he doesn't kind of keep at hand sewing, even if he's just sitting coloring a coloring book.
Yep.
Or, if we have a time where we're being artsy of sorts.
Yeah.
Because it just seems easier if everybody's doing it all together, it seems easier to do. Whereas if one person's watching a movie and one person's playing Legos and one person...
Yeah. It's easy to get distracted that way.
Yeah. So if everybody, at the age my kids are at now, if everybody can do the same sort of thing all together, it seems to go smoother for everyone. If we,
that's a good idea.
While I work out, the kids kind of work out.
Yeah.
While I clean, they kind of clean. And so something like that. And
good.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, we definitely have more on these subjects, and we will definitely hone in on a lot of these different things as questions come in. And so we really want your guys' feedback.
Yes.
So that, if there's something that we touched on that you want to hear more about, then we really want to know those things so that we can take a topic and hone in and do our research, and find some things that you guys would find helpful and interesting, our opinions, other people's opinions. So let us know if you guys have questions and what you'd like us to chat a little bit more about. And we have several episodes lined up that we've got stuff to talk about already, but we want to hear from you.
Yes, we really want to hear about what your thoughts are, what stuff you want to hear about, what your take on something is. Yeah. And all that stuff. So we, like you said, Andrea, we kind of want this to be a somewhat interactive thing where we're kind of just bringing our perspectives to the table and giving a voice to it. But I love hearing different perspectives or different, answers to questions or different ideas or whatever. I think that's where the good stuff is born in
Agreed.
Just like we're doing like this, like a conversation. So
I know. Yay. Well, that wraps up this episode. So again, thank you guys so much for all your love and support and just giving us such an awesome welcome. And we will talk to you guys really soon. So thank you guys so much for watching
or listening. Bye.
Bye.